Hello and welcome along to the next instalment of my camper conversion YouTube channel. So this video is part of a series converting a VW T5 high top into a fully fledged DVLA registered campervan, and this job today is going to be fitting some LED downlights via a remote controlled dimmer switch into the headlining that I'm just about to start getting finally installed inside the van. I've got all of the side headlinings up. The ply panels are pretty much all ready to go in as well. So now it's a case of getting the headlining in, but obviously you need to get the lights fitted into any headlining before you get it installed. Otherwise you're just defeating the purpose and you need to take it back down again to get the actual lights in. So as you can see, all the roof linings all fully insulated as well. Can't really get any more insulation in this van compared to what I've got in. So all that's ready to go as well. So for the actual LED lights themselves, these are all 3-watt warm spectrum LEDs, so they're giving off a slightly ambery light rather than a cold white, which is more of a blue. Much more subtle, much more easy on the eye. As you can see, the headline itself I've done in a vinyl rather than carpet. I've normally carpeted every single headline I've done so far, but this time round I thought I'd just break it up a little bit, so I've gone out and got some vinyl instead, just with a nice little pattern on it, just to break it up a little bit. So in regards to getting the LEDs fitted themselves, it's just going to be a case of taking some measurements, trying to get them spaced out individually all the way around, trying to get them all even so they're all going to line up as well. Then they all connect through into a junction box. Now these lights did come with the junction box themselves, but you can make your own as well. I've done both before in the past. I've used junction boxes like this that came with it, or you can just make your own, take the ends of end caps off the actual wires and then just join them all up in a chock block, something like that. Because it came with a junction box, I'm going to be using that, but I'm still going to be having to snip the end off because I don't have that type of connector, and again it's just going to get connected up with a junction box via some cabling that I've already got in place. Now again, it's always important to get all of your cabling up and ready, all in place before you actually install all of your headline and things like that. Otherwise again you might just have to be taking it all back down again just to get the cables in. So all my cabling's running through up the high top, out the corner in there. It's probably too dark to make out, and then the cable's going to run up and just straight out there, and that's where it's going to connect in with the junction box. So first things first, I'm going to get some measurements taken, get the holes drilled, get the lights mounted. Now if you're doing it with carpeted headlining, it's always best just to make a little cut in the carpet where you're going to be drilling. Otherwise if you just drill straight into the carpet, the chances are the drill bit's just going to snag the carpet and just chew it straight up. Not so bad with vinyl, as I say, this should just drill straight through, no problems at all. But just through experience before, if you're doing it with carpet on the headlining, just do a little slit and then just get the drill bit into the slit, and then it shouldn't actually chew the carpet. So, as I say, I'll get some measurements taken, film it along as we go along, and by the end of the video we should have the headlining up with fully remote controlled and dimmable LED lights fitted in. So to mount these particular lights in place, these just have a bezel that unscrews off the front. Then it's just 2 little screw holes that will secure it straight through to the headlining. Obviously making sure that you've got plenty of access to get all the cables through and hidden through on the back. You always generally get the 2 little screws that come with the LEDs as well. And then when they're in place, just put the bezel back on, screw it back on place. Now the threads on these can be a little bit finicky at times, but they are what they are. As I say, they still look quite nice and neat when they're in, so I'll crack on, get all these screwed in place and then start on the wiring. So I've just taped the cables going down to the overhead locker end. That's where all the power cables are going to be coming out from. I've just cut the end off the junction box, and thankfully the cables are actually red and black. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they're both black, and you just need to try and determine which one is positive and negative. Thankfully that one's actually fully identified. So that's going to get taped up with electrical tape. I just thought I'd show you that first before I start smothering it all over the place with tape. But that's not going anywhere. I've gave it a good pull test on the junction box as well. So now it's a case of getting the light connected into there, then trying to manhandle the headlining back into place and get it in secured up. Ideally this is a two-person job. I might still try and get somebody else to give us a hand. I'll give it a go first on my own, see how we get on, see if we get it up or not. So now all the headlining's up and the lights are fitted to it. It's now just a case of getting all of the lights wired in. Now I've gone for a different type of dimmer for this particular install. Normally I fit remote control dimmers, but this one I've gone for a touch panel one instead, so you can just adjust the brightness exactly how you want it, just using the touch panel. So all the cabling's ran behind the headliner there. You probably won't be able to see because it's quite dark, but it just runs down the very end corner and just tucks out underneath. It then just goes down under there, and the cabling's coming down through there. I've had to cut a little bit of insulation out just because of the depth of the dimmer itself, but that's all now wired in as well. That's straightforward wiring. It's just one input for the lights, and obviously you've got your actual input for the power. Now this particular dimmer, you can have 3 channels running off it, so you can have different lights running off it at once, or different settings off them as well, but I'm just going to be having them all on the one setting, so they'll all dim up or down, turn it on or off at once. So now the wiring's put in place. It's just a case of mounting this back in and screwing it in, getting my carpeted panel back into place, then getting the cabling wired in. All of my cabling is ran down behind the plastic cover for the seat belts, and it's popping out there. I've got a little bit of protective sleeving, and it's all going to be going up into a common positive and negative fuse box. So it's almost there. As I say, I'm just going to get this fully fitted and finally in place. We'll get the wiring done and we'll give the lighting a test. So now the unit's now fitted and the panel's back in place. I've now just finished off the wiring, so I've got the main power feed wired into my fuse panel, and I've now finally got my battery in place as well. I was hoping to have my battery under the seat, but because I've swapped the seats for an RX-8 seat, it would have just been brushing the top of the battery, so it's going to get boxed in here behind my kitchen unit. So wiring wise, install wise, that's everything done for the LED lights. So now it's just a case of firing up and giving them a test, and to do that it's a touch panel control with dimmer function. So to turn them on, you just push the power button and there's the lights on, and you can select different dimness, brightness, dim them right down, nice and bright, somewhere in the middle in between, and it's just a case of tapping where you want the actual brightness on the actual panel itself. It does have different memory functions, it has strobes, this, that, the other as well, but I'm not interested in any of that. All I want is just a basic on-off function where you can dim them right down at night time and make them nice and bright whenever you need to. I'll put a link in the description for this particular dimmer. I'll put a link in for the lights, for wiring, everything that I use in regards to the install. There'll be different links in the description beneath the video, so have a look at those links if you're interested in these lights, this particular dimmer switch, anything like that. As I say, I think it's quite a nice little unit this. Straight up, straight down, just select anything you want, and then just to turn them back off, it's just the power button again. So there we go, that's how I've fitted my 6 LED downlights into the headlining via a touch panel dimming switch. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do give it that good old thumbs up. Have a look at my channel, there's loads of content on there already as well in regards to this conversion. I'm documenting everything job by job. There's another 4 vans that I've converted on my channel as well, so there's loads of content on my channel. Plenty more to come as well. So that's it. If you found the video useful, give it a good old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you on the next series of this next video of this series. Thanks for watching. Cheers.